Okay, we are talking about algebra. This is the lesson Algebra 6.0, monomials, adding and subtracting. Well, we're going to start looking at a lot of terminology, and just once you know what the terminology is, then it'll make a lot more sense. But we're talking about monomials. And think of the base word mono. And that means singular or one. Okay, so mono means one. So that's going to make a whole lot more sense when we see this. So basically, it's a monomial it's a number, a variable, or a product of a number and a variable. So I'll talk about this. Or a product, so it's multiplication, no addition, subtraction, of a number and variables. Now it can be a single variable or multiple variables. So we're going to show you examples of what that means. Something like this, like 5x. That is a monomial. That's one term, okay? It's multiplication. You can you can also use it as a 1/5 x. So just because it's division, so like x over 5, it can be rewritten as 1/5 x. So you'll see division in there too, but you'll write it mainly as a fraction with multiplication. Here's another one, 3x squared. So this is all still one term. We can do y to the 7th. We can do a -5/2 x squared. We can do two variables. We can do 3xy. Okay, so a monomial is just one term, and it can be with a number and variables, like more than one variable, or just a variable by itself, like an x by itself is a monomial. A number 5 by itself is a monomial. Okay, now monomials with the same variables and exponents are like terms. Okay, so we'll talk about ones that are like terms, but they have to have the same variable and they have to have the same exponent. So the only things here that have the same exponent are right here, 5x and 1/5 x, then this x here. So those would be like terms. This 3x squared cannot be combined with 5x. That's not the same, it's the same variable, but not the same exponent. Now, when you add or subtract monomials, you are just combining like terms. So you're combining like terms. I don't know why I capitalized that, but that's fine. Do not change the variables and exponents. Okay, so you don't change those. So we're going to be adding and subtracting the following monomials. So we first have to look. Now, you have to really pay close attention. So the number in front and the sign in front does not matter. It's all about the variables and their exponents. So you have a cubed, b, c. Okay, so we can combine these. The thing is, you're really only combining the -15 and the +6. Well, that's going to be a -9. But then everything else stays the same. It's exactly a cubed, b, c. Don't change, when you're adding and subtracting, don't change the letters and don't change the exponents. Leave those the same. Okay, let's look here. Now we have 4ab plus 13bc. Okay, ab and bc, those are not the same term. You cannot combine these. So you can't combine. So to simplify that would be the exact same thing. Now don't leave it blank. Rewrite it, but this is as simplified as it can go because you can't combine them. Okay, let's look at this one. We have 13w squared plus 8w plus 3w squared minus 17w. Okay, so the only ones you can combine, the 13w squared. Now remember, the sign in front goes with it, and the 8w. Okay, so we have 13w squared plus 3w squared. Now, typically, you'll do the w squared first and then the w. Now, you have positive and w. That's as far as you can go right now, okay? Pretty soon, we'll learn what to do next. But right now, we're just combining like terms. Okay? Now, subtract 9a from -15a. So be careful how you write this. This is saying subtract 9a from -15a. So you're saying a -15a minus 9a. Okay, well, those are both a, so we can combine those. -15 minus 9, you're going further negative, so that's going to be a -24a. Okay, so now you're going to technically do these on your own, but you can pause the video, write in pencil, do these, and then watch for the answer key if you like. So negative 15m minus a negative 15m. Well, you have, these m's are the same. So when you add the opposite, this just turns out to be 0m, which really, you guys, if you ever have that, that's just 0. Okay, don't ever leave a 0 with a variable. That's just 0. Okay, number 2, n squared m. Oop. Okay, so the only ones we can combine are this one and that negative 1. So you have 10 minus 1, so it's going to be a 9m squared n plus 7m n squared. Just because they're the same variables, they don't have the same exponent. You have m squared here and n squared there. All right, so now we have 2ab plus 9ac cannot combine. Okay. Find the difference of 10x squared and 2. So when it says find the difference, that's subtraction. So it's like this is saying 10x squared minus, or 10x squared y minus 2x squared y. So it's going to be 8x squared y. Subtract 2x from negative 8x squared, or negative 8x. So you're saying negative 8x minus 2x. So it's going to be a negative 10x. Ooh, wait. Nope. Subtract. Oh, it's a subtract. Ooh, careful. Oops. A negative. So you're subtracting this minus this. So that's actually going to be a negative 6x. Careful there. So what you're saying here, I'm going to rewrite this. You're saying a negative 8x. Subtract. That's the subtract. Negative 2x. Okay. So when you have a negative, you're subtracting a negative, it's like adding the opposite. All right, so that turns out to be a negative 8x plus 2x, which is a negative 6x. Okay. From 13xy squared, subtract 21xy squared. Are these the same? Yes. So you're really taking 13xy squared minus 21xy squared. Those are the exact same. All the variables are the same, and the exponents are the same. So that's going to be a negative 8xy squared. Okay. So that's all that is for 6-0, is just combining like terms with the monomials.